What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Roblox Studio tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make GUI for your game. In my tutorials, I make a lot of GUI, but I've never actually really told you guys what I'm doing or how I make it. When I make it, I usually just kind of do it, or I leave it in the description. But in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how I make my GUI and what all the GUI elements do. So now, without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. Alright, so to make GUI, you're always going to be working within the starter GUI unless you have like a GUI within a code that you're going to put into the player GUI. But even then, you have to like visualize it within the starter GUI. So inside the starter GUI, you're going to make a screen GUI. And this is where like all the GUI like aspects are going to be held, like all the buttons, frames, scrolling frames, all that is going to be held within the screen GUI. And the reason I always click on ignore GUI inset is because whenever you're in a game, there's always going to be like, if you don't click this, you don't have this checked at the top of the screen. Like if you have, say I had a frame and it was covering the entire screen. If I was in game and I didn't have ignore GUI inset checked, there would be a little bar at the top and it would have like the chat and like the escape and like close out of the game, the menu, all that. So that's why I always click on ignore GUI inset. And that's all you really have to do for screen GUIs. There's a few other things you can do, like reset on spawn just is like, if you die, will this GUI like be reset when you die? That's basically what that is. Display order is if you had like multiple screen GUIs, which usually I don't, but it's preference for anyone. So now I'll talk about what the different GUI elements are. First one is a frame, and a frame is just a solid box. So I'll also talk about the properties too. The background color 3 is the same basically for everything. It's just kind of the color of the background. So for a frame, it'll just change the entire thing because it's only background. So that's that. The background transparency, it just decides how transparent the background is. Layout order is the same as like display order. It's like if I had, say I had a red frame and I also had like a blue frame and I wanted the red frame to be on top, I would make the red frame's layout order higher. Or no, my bad. I would make the Z index higher. That's my bad. Layout orders for something else. So that's kind of really all you need to know for frames. So next I'll move on to text buttons. Now text buttons are a button with text on it. It's pretty simple. The background color 3, background transparency, Z index, all that's the same. Oh, something I didn't go over for the frame, which is my bad, is the position and the size, which is also going to be the same for everything. So the position, you always want to use these first two and not these second two. And the reason for that is, we can see these first two are the scales. And what that means is it scales with every single device. If you were using like the offset, like you had like 10, like say it was like that, I had an offset like 500 and I had an offset like 300. This screen, like my monitor is 1920 by 1080 pixels, so it's going to be offset by this much on my screen. But on like a mobile device, which is probably only going to be about like half the size, maybe even less, this button will be like all the way over here, because like it's gonna be like all the way down there because it's not the same, since it's not like the same amount of pixels. So that's why you always use scale. So you make the offset 0 and you always use the scale, which is based on a scale of 1. Oh, and something else that's very useful is the anchor point. Anchor point, it just kind of, if you set to 0.5, which is what I usually do, it just makes it scaled kind of based off like the middle, if it makes sense. I don't know. It's a little bit confusing, not really, once you play around with it. And the same thing with the scale also goes for the size. This is also kind of just, you have the offset at 0 and you have the scale at like 0.1, 0.2, whatever you want it to be. And this, by the way, when it's on a base scale of 1. So if I set this X scale to 1, which is left and right, the entire screen would count as 1. And also if I put it inside like this frame, I'll set the background transparency to be like purple, just to demonstrate. If I put it inside the frame, then the entirety of this frame would be equal to 1. So it's scaled based off whatever it's inside of. And also down here we have the text, which you can set the text to be whatever you want it to be. Right now it's a button. I'll set it to be subscribe, which is something that you should totally do. And you should also always do text scaled, so that way it makes it so it fits within the frame. And if you also don't do text scaled, it's gonna be the same thing with the offset. On a smaller screen device, the text will be bigger. Then we also have the text color 3, which is pretty self-explanatory. We can move the sliders, make it different colors. Text stroke color 3. I don't really touch the text stroke because I usually just use UI strokes inside of the text button, which has a lot more customization. And there's also, last thing I would really talk about would be the text stroke transparency, or not text, the text transparency. You can make the text more transparent if you want. You can also change the font up here. You can make it like this. You can make it bold. You can make it italic. You can also use rich text, which is more of a coding thing. So I wouldn't really worry about that too much if you're only focused on GUI. Now the next thing is a text label, which is basically the same thing as a text button, but you would use a text button for if you want to detect when you click on something within the code. Text label you just use as like to show text. Same thing with an image label. An image label is just like a text label, but it's for an image. So down here we can see the image, which right now is just this default Roblox image. You can also change the image color to like kind of color the image a little bit. And there's also this scale type. There's all these different kinds of scale types. Usually I only use fit or crop, because fit just makes it so it fits within the frame, but crop will make it so like it kind of crops. Like it maintains the original image's aspect ratio, but it will like crop within the frame. So as you can see, it's kind of just cutting it off, which is, it's good. Like if you want it to be like that, go ahead, but I usually just use fit. And there's also a few more things, like an image button is basically just a text button, but with images. A text box is, as you can see, I just clicked on it. You can type in it, but you can type in it in game as well. Like you can type in it while just creating it, but if I went inside the game, if I play tested, which I will do right now, we can see when it loads, I can actually type in this in the game. So what you can do with this is you can set like a placeholder text. You can to be like type here. I spelled type wrong, but if you click on it and then you can type, then you delete it all. Then the placeholder text will be right there. The text you can type in here, but it, like if you click on it, it won't save. So I wouldn't recommend having text on this. I would usually recommend just using like placeholder text for this. But obviously, it always depends on what you like want to have. And you also have the placeholder color, which is basically just the placeholder text color. There's a few other things, like you have video frames, which it's not like really useful. It's just like it's useful. Roblox has a few like default videos that you can choose from, but you have to be like verified some kind of thing to upload your own videos. But basically a video frame is just like you import this and like, you don't even have to like really use a video frame. It just kind of gets imported from the toolbox. So yeah, video frames are kind of useless unless you're like verified somehow. And there's also viewport frames, which I can make a whole separate video just about viewport frames. It's pretty confusing. So if you guys want to know more about viewport frames, I can make a video on that. Let me know in the comments. There's also scrolling frames, which you can use for like if you're making an inventory system or something like that. And you can kind of just customize the scrolling thing. It's basically just a frame, but you can scroll through it. And you can customize the scrolling down here. If you want it to be like it scales based on how much stuff is in it, I would set the canvas size to 0, scrolling direction to be Y, and set automatic canvas size to Y. And now if I put in a bunch of stuff, like if I did like a UI list layout and I put in a frame, I'll just make it red, and I copy this frame a bunch. The more frames I add, the more scrolling. I don't know. I'm probably not explaining this stuff really well, but I'm doing my best here. There's also a bunch of, if you look up UI, there's a bunch of this stuff in here, which I don't really know what all of it does, but the main ones I use are UI list layout for like scrolling frames, or if I'm making like a list, UI stroke if I want whatever I'm using to have a stroke, which is very useful for making things like look good. There's also UI corner, which just makes the edges more rounded. This also has like the same scale and offset thing as like the position and the size. I would recommend only using the scale, obviously, because if you use the offset, it's going to be a lot more like bigger or smaller on different devices. And then also UI, you also have UI grid layout, which is something you can use for scrolling frames, like an inventory system, or maybe even like a shop, which basically I can show you right now. You put in a frame, I make it red. You can customize it, but I can paste in a bunch of frames and it just kind of makes it all like that. And then the last one, or there's two more, but one I use as well is UI gradient, which you can just use to make something have like a gradient. So if you click on the color and you click on these 3 dots right here, I can make this side like red and it will like fade to white, which is pretty cool for making things look good. And the last one I usually use, like obviously all these have uses, but I'm just showing you guys the only ones that I really use, is UI aspect ratio constraint. This is incredibly useful if you want something to be a perfect square on all devices. It's incredibly useful for that. But yeah, that's actually about it for GUI. I didn't really show you guys how to like make anything. I just kind of show you guys all like the different GUI aspects and what they did. But you know, hopefully if you did make it to the end of this video, you found what I told you useful, and hopefully you can apply it into your game, into all your games within your development journey, and I hope it helped you. But that'll do it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.